Welcome and thank you for joining me today. I am back on the SMB server, and it, yes, I'll go ahead and say this. It's been a little bit of a while since the last episode, but there's some good explanation behind that, and some excuse after the explanation. So basically, couldn't do any videos while the servers were completely down when MC Pro Hosting was outright attacked. But then following that, basically 1.16 was on the verge of coming out, and so I kind of lost my enthusiasm to hop on here for the next episode and was more geared for 1.16 stuff. And then it promptly came out, and then between that, Nether Survival, and I've been out of town on vacation recently. Yeah, it's definitely been a lot longer than I ever intended it to be. But the reason it has been a little bit longer, even still, is again, I just got back from vacation. I didn't want to do 1 or 2 episodes, go out of town, and then suddenly there's a 1, maybe 2 week gap, depends on when I get this video edited and whatnot. So we just postpone the next video so that it's more consistent when it does pop back. And you're not here to hear a large amount of rambling, so we'll get onto the episode. What you see in front of me here is basically all of the farms I've yet to do, um, sort of. And then using redstone, I have marked the dependency tree of them. So we'll go over here where it's simpler. So Sweet Berry Farm, for that, I need to find a white fox. I don't need to, but I kind of want to breed white foxes and red foxes together so that I can have just keep breeding and mixing and whatnot. So that's going to be a delay. Ice Farm is doable. It's off that way, the landmass that's just across the short ocean. Kelp Farm, that's an easy one. Guardian Farm, it's down there. That's another one to do. A cocoa bean farm. So for me to finish that, I need to do a honey farm. And for me to do a honey farm, I need a bee breeder. So I'm gonna have to do these three in this order: bee breeder, honey farm, then finish the cocoa bean farm finally. We have the vine farm, cactus, bamboo, sugarcane, chicken, all this stuff, including like nether plants and trees and whatnot. Those are gonna fit in here once we update to the nether, or to the 116 update on this server. But those farms, I'm not even going to list them until basically, well, they're in the book, but I'm not even going to really plan them or anything until we're about to make that upgrade, which could be a while because we are not going to be updating SMB 1 or 2. Oh, that's one other thing that went wrong. The inventory bridge is down. Like, that's the biggest delay on us coming back up initially. But yeah, so if I hop over to the SMB1, I don't carry my exact inventory and vice versa. So I've got to be careful so as not to lose things. But yeah. Anyway, all these other farms might get a little complicated starting from the tail end. So let's start up here at the top. So I need to do the village breeder before I could do any of these other farms. And I need a village converter before I can do uh, that one. Yep, that is literally the only thing that is reliant on a village converter, and that is the trading hall. So, but the trading hall has so many more other dependencies. So, village breeder, that I need villager crop farms require the villager breeder as well as the iron farm. Iron farm is the end point of that tree, but this one, okay, so villager crop farms need those for the villager trading. Also, kind of need to circle that around to the convert, no, not to the breeder, but not necessarily. I'll show you what I mean at whatever point we get to building that. So we have the carrot, potato, or beetroot, which is required for the pig farm. Carrot farm is required for rabbits. The wheat farm is required for sheep, cows, and mushroom. So, yeah. This is the tree of the farms that need to be done. And of all of these farms here, the one we're going to work on today is a flower farm. Let's get going. Well, this kind of puts a crimp in my plans. This is where I was going to go, and it is at the edge of new and old terrain, which would be why I couldn't find it a couple of weeks ago during tea time. But darn it, I literally need like space right here. 35. Yeah. Yeah, like half the farm is over an ocean, and it's actually a crucial half of the farm. Oh, the rest of the island looks perfect. It just, this sudden chopping here is, this is so terrible. I have to figure out another, another flower forest biome. This was close by, didn't seem like anyone was gonna be here. Although someone obviously was at some point. Based on this, my guess is digging for buried treasure, of which I could probably have mentioned that given the abruptness of the terrain, it was not likely to be here if it was not found, or if it was found, you got very lucky. Yeah, this is just figures this would be my luck. Huh. Although this is neat-ish. Oh. Oh, hey. I drowned. Die. So this is a ravine that cuts under the island, apparently. Interesting. This is very interesting. Anyway, I have to figure out another site. Darn it. Oh. Though I suppose it wasn't a total loss. I did end up coming out of that mess with at least something. Ah, here we go. Rosebush, lilac, peony. I already had one. And sunflower. Apparently the only one of the two talls that I'd already collected was the peony. Now I can at least easily farm those. But yeah, no, I definitely want to get a farm of the rest. So, again, off to the drawing board. In fact, I will kind of try and take you on that journey with me. Getting close to night again. So what we have here is a midst and the SMB seed, but not the actual biome layout that happens, because a lot of this area is pre-ocean update. So there'll be similar biomes, but this ocean mess will be different. And what we want to do is go in here, find the flower forest, which, yep, there it is. And then only highlight those. So now it'll be easier to find. Now if we scroll over here, you can note this one here is my island. And down here, where the single player icon is the flower forest I found. It's a tiny flower forest, but it actually serves the purpose perfectly. And it was unfortunately not there before the ocean update. So, from the island, we need to try and find another flower forest and not impede on anyone else, of which I've got a few ideas. not going over this way because I know that over this way, yeah, there's spawn. Pretty sure this is where Iris has set up her most recent base. And I'm pretty sure Sopha's got her house right up here as well. Thing is, I'm trying to find something that is not going to impede on anyone else. And will cover what I need. I don't want to go ridiculously far out. If I build this over the ocean, I can be more comfortable building closer to the ground. If I have to build it way, way, way out somewhere, I'll be more comfortable building it high in the sky. But this is already a massive amount of distance out. Like, there's maybe this. It's next to a forest, but it's tiny. I should be able to find what I need, but it won't be as easy. I could go back inland and maybe take a look at some of these, and then they'll be kind of in the general direction of spawn, but it's definitely not as close as that. That was amazingly close. Let's see. I mean, there's one over here in this ocean, which looks to be surrounded by just ocean, deep ocean, got some cold ocean. You get some warm ocean further off, which, I mean, that'd probably be the warm ocean to go raid, because there's no way that's been explored yet, I'm thinking. Some of this massive warm ocean only exists in a little strip down the middle. It's hilarious. So let's pop over to here. Let me actually hop into the game, save and quit, because I want to make absolutely certain. Boom. Okay, so the player is now moved over there. And now let's pop open. And yeah, so I'm actually recording the display window right now because I was getting some bad flickering. So let's actually take a look at what this biome is like. I'm definitely high up in the air. Yeah, it's a really tiny island. Theoretically, it would work, but there is not a lot of space to be sure. There's an ocean monument just right there. Oh, wow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just really quickly set block. If I could spell correctly, current coordinates, grass, block, boop. And then we just fly over here. And do the same thing again. Now, I need this. Oh, right. Data pack list. Yeah, so that's in here. Is it grass or is it tall grass? Let's try. Oh, it should definitely be grass. Oh, right. I actually have to stand on the block for it to work. There we go. So this, by the way, is how I can figure out what the flower pattern is. And it's basically my process to find exactly what I'm looking for, which is one of every flower forest flower. It's going to take a bit, so I'll hop back when it's done. We'll see if we've got it. If not, we'll look for another one. Because we're doing this on such a small scale, it didn't work. Well, it worked faster, but it didn't work to find the biome I'm looking for. We are missing the lily of the valley and the cornflower. And while the island does technically extend out this way a little bit more and would generate a little bit more, it will not generate those because I have learned I've learned in doing this many times what the pattern is it looks for. So I'm going to try a few more locations and I'll be back when I find one that works. Okay, so it just finished a very large area. And basically, I may have found a spot that'll work. But before we get into that, we're going to go over kind of the basics of how flowers spawn. And like in the flower forest, particularly, the same spot will always produce when bone mealed the same flower, or alternatively grass. But if you get a flower, it will always be the same. And I've noticed two distinct patterns, two distinct hearts, we'll say. We'll fly over here where they are far more obvious. But basically, the rarest one to find, at least it's what it feels like, is going all the way to the, what you call it, the dandelions. So if you get all the way to the dandelions, I feel like that's rare, and I have not seen anything more inside of it than that yet. But these are very rare. I was about to say roses, but they're poppies. So the poppies, they're they're more common, but they are also somewhat rare because a lot of these purple areas don't have it. I've even seen one dandelion amidst the poppies, one poppy amidst the hmm, allium. Yeah, here I am not remembering the names of every flower. The alliums are very common. You will get a patch of those very easily. Like I'll find it very difficult to locate a spot where you do not have the azure bluette surrounding alliums. That always seems to happen when it does happen. And then beyond that, you get a pattern of red, orange, what are those? White, and then pink tulips. And then from there, you get to the oxeye daisy, then the cornflower, and then at the opposite end, the opposite heart of it, you get the lily of the valley. And that is basically the patterns that emerge. You go from the dandelions to the lily of the valley in a nice pattern of flowers. This is the perfect spot to illustrate. This is the pattern that seems to always appear, is going from one heart to that same heart in another spot or to the opposite heart. So if you're looking to do a flower farm to get everything, your goal should be to either have your flower farm be able to get to the heart of the lily of the valley and to at least get the alliums, but then you can snag these in any biome just about. Just about. Oh, right there. That could almost work because it does actually reach that heart at the edge, but we're not close enough in a straight line to get to these, I don't feel. So this doesn't quite work for my purposes. And a lot of these over here, like over here, would be absolutely perfect because it looks like we're going to have a decent section of dandelions over here, or possibly even converting to a full-fledged mix, but it's not a straight line, it's a diagonal. That seems to be the case in a lot of places. And here to here would work if it went more than here, more than the allium, but it doesn't. So you just have to keep looking. And right over here near the end of the pattern, we ended up with a decent size one of these, and we're looking at an 11 block wide thing. So I could snag this and just get that. Alternatively, I could get this and stream it all the way over to here, or back this way, which actually might be the better direction because I won't end up with an overloaded amount of purple, but at the same time I will. And yeah, basically, if I just snag into part of that and cut across over here, the 11 blocks, I could make a farm work in this line. But again, the farm has to be 11 blocks wide, and then the length of it is determined by which two sections I need to get and how much of them I want to get. So that's basically the thing to look for with these farms, is you want you and you could bone meal them by hand because the Y coordinate doesn't matter. You just need a super flat world, the seed, and go ham on bone mealing. But you'll get a lot of grass that you'll have to replace. So in the description below, I'm going to link to a data pack that I have that I actually picked up through watching Izuma do this. And basically, it really works to figure out where you want to put your flower farm. Now, the next question is this spot on the server, it should still be a flower farm. The big question is it going to produce, like, is it not produce, is it going to be in line of sight of anyone's base, or am I going to be safe to build here? Or do I need to keep looking? Because I did have to aim back towards spawn for this, so I do kind of need to check and make sure everything is going to be okay. Make sure no one's set up anywhere. But this does look like it'll be a viable spot, which is awesome. I will get all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 varieties of flower that you can bone meal in the flower forest. So I've made my way out here and I have built up some scaffolding to kind of mark the area out. But the courteous thing to do now is to check and see if anyone else is building even remotely close, which I kind of doubt. We're pretty far off in the middle of nowhere. I do still need to check. Right, nothing so far. Nice mountain over here. Nope. There's my scaffolding. But no sign of anyone else. Good, good, very good. Okay, so now my plan is to kind of fly back to spawn. Which is not this way. It's not that way, it's this way. Right? Nope. Let's see. That's... Okay, so it is definitely this way. I just slept, so I won't have to deal with phantoms tonight, but on the flight back to spawn, this might help illuminate, kind of, if there really is anyone remotely close by. Again, I haven't seen anyone. No signs of human settlement. And it's definitely now outside of render distance, but it's still going to be nice to find out who is even remotely close by. that a trapped hostile in there? Yeah, you know what? Let's. There's definitely someone kind of nearish, but at the same time, not. So who? Oh, yeah. So, apparently, we are setting up not too far from where Zen is. That is interesting, which means we're also not that far from the stronghold, which I suspected for sure. All right, so I have to gather up the supplies in order to build this farm. And so I'm going to take care of that. And this will actually be the first full proper cut in recording instead of pause, because it is going to take me a little bit of time to figure out everything I need, gather it together, and then get back there. Also, should probably look into repairing my elytra. But that is an interesting discovery. I should basically be able to set up a portal down this tunnel to get to my destination. Something close to it at least. Probably still leave it as mostly a flying destination. Maybe. But for the very immediate point in time, this is the way that I use to get to my destination. Because it is such a short flight, and also I made a landing platform. I can't believe I forgot that still. Of course, I'll always forget something. And I never refilled the buckets either. Okay, so among other things that I can do, I can basically take this and run it along here for a safety railing on this portion. No safety railing here because this is the flight deck, so it basically doesn't get a safety railing. And, oh, right, the other place I need a safety railing. Those four there, and I need to actually get the safety railing in here, like so. Okay, so that basically makes a full safety railing where you can't fall off. Phantoms might be able to dive in and get you at this angle, theoretically. Be difficult. But this is basically the full setup, gliding level, thanks partly to the ring of glowstone around the edge is plenty good. Let's see, I did dive right into that last time lapse because I realized how long the video was already currently taking. And let's see. I do not actually have a way to get to the top side of that just yet. So we'll just do it this way. And then over here is all of the sorting mabobs. So yeah, I'm using sea pickles here so that they line up against that and flow along both of them. Still get sucked into the hoppers, but still get the speed of the packed ice. Flow all the way down, and anything that is completely filled up or that is just overflowed because the hoppers can't keep up will get composted for more free bone meal. Because why not? I'm only doing a single double chest, which kind of sounds weird to say, a single double chest. But basically, what I need to now do is throw in the filter blocks on all of these. And then I need to put in the flowers. And if you've been looking at my inventory and counting, you'll realize that I only have one of each flower, which means the system has to fill itself up. But you'll also realize that B, I'm missing two of the different flower types. Don't need anything in that. And also that I have 2 slots for seeds. So I'm going to put seeds in first because if there's any chance that an item gets missed, it's seeds, and that way they just double up here, and well, they'll go into either or. They'll fill up quite fast. And then we just need to put the rest in. I'm thinking, let's see. We'll do the Oxide Daisy, the Azure Bluette, the Allium, and we will do the, let's do white, pink, and no, let's not do pink. Let's do red, orange, pink, and then cornflower and lily of the valley can fill into those when they start producing. And this is positioned in such a way that they will all end up producing. And I am so glad that I realized before I did this, but in order to bust that to get back in, I can break in here, not spill any water, which it kind of wouldn't matter, but I don't want to mess up the landscape below, even though it is now pitch dark down there. And we have one final task. We need to fill in all of these dispensers. And it takes this many bone blocks because each bone block gives you 9 stacks. Each stack of bone blocks gives you 9 stacks of bone meal. Each dispenser takes 9 stacks, so 16. Yeah, it's gonna take me a moment, but it's doable. Also, I still need to refill those buckets. So I will get this done, and then we will see this in action as kind of the video outro. So enjoy the machine running, and until next time, God bless. It took a little bit more work to get this working after I finished the outro because the first few times it didn't quite want to work properly. I figured it out, got it working. I did fix the composter with the hopper pointing to the side. I, for some reason, thought that would work, but I fixed it so that it points into the hopper above it so that it does get fully filled up with the seeds and it composts into bone meal and it keeps up with it. I ran it for 4 hours, used up all the bone meal, got quite a bit of flowers, and the editing for this, by the way, it took a little longer to get to because I needed to be sure that when I did get to it that I would be ready to get to editing future videos on time.